Time to re-up YouTube. Your boy Mustard is back, and as promised, we're here with another video with the season preview, this time for the Sacramento Kings. I ain't gonna lie, man, the Kings have just been flat out garbage my entire life, going back to the Boogie Cousins years, and now we're in the De'Aaron Fox era. And even though he's from Houston, Cy-Fair, shout out to my boy, I was happy as hell when he got his contract, but unfortunately they have still failed to be a playoff team for the duration of my time watching the NBA. And as you can see from this ranking, I still don't think next year they're gonna be a playoff team. But before I tell you guys why the Kings are still going to suck next year, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell for post notifications to stay up to date with the latest content on Young Mustard. But without further ado, let's get back to the garbage, smelly, disgusting franchise known as the Sacramento Kings. I mean, when you talk about the bad teams over the last decade, you got rosters like the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Detroit Pistons, and now you have the Sacramento Kings. But what separates the Timberwolves and Pistons, at least right now, is that they actually have a real future. I can't say that for the Kings. Last year, the Kings missed out on the playoffs again, which was expected, but instead of them moving De'Aaron Fox for the point guard that obviously is going to be better in the near future and Tyrese Halliburton, they moved Halliburton just so they could get Domantas Sabonis. For those who don't know, I like Sabonis, but I don't think he was worth giving up Tyrese Halliburton, especially considering that the ceiling for this team is a first round exit. Now, some of you guys may be wondering, why am I so low on the Kings? Well, let's just look at the roster, shall we? For starters, one thing this team is missing is real size on the interior. That's the one thing I like about the Sabonis trade. It gives them some presence down low, especially on the boards. But outside of Sabonis, you have Richaun Holmes to come off the bench, and that's really it. Chimezie Metu has some promise here and there, but I don't really believe in him. And after that, it's Alex Len, and who the fuck cares about his ass? Then there's nobody else. Deadass, there's not a single player you can plug in at that 5 position unless they want to go super small with Harrison Barnes. And while we're on the subject of Harrison Barnes, are they ever going to move him? Like, let's be real here. Barnes has true value, and it's never going to be seen on a team like this. I understand that he's a nice player, good on the wing, he can shoot the 3-ball and defend, but I truly do believe moving him for assets is what's best for this team moving forward, because he's not going to really contribute in the way that they think he is, because they're not going to be that good. And speaking of their wings, let's not forget they picked up Kent Bazemore. Yeah, trash. And then that's really all I can talk about, because their front court depth is really thin. And we're gonna get to Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox later on. I have a lot to say about those two, stay tuned for that. But now that we've discussed how they suck in the front court and they're very thin, let's talk about their guard play, because I actually like that, unlike a lot of things on this roster. I like the Malik Monk signing. I think offensively he's gonna pick up that chemistry he got from Kentucky with De'Aaron Fox. It's gonna be a thing of beauty, trust me. The same thing applies to Kevin Huerter. He's also a nice floor spacer, can put the ball on the floor just a tad bit, and I definitely think he's going to add some variety to that offense. And neither of those two are defensive players, and you got a guy like Davion Mitchell for that. Davion has his presence on the offensive side of the ball that he could grow, and I love the progression that he showed in his rookie season this past year. But the defensive side of the ball, that man is true clamps, dead ass. As you can see, these are some of his prominent matchup numbers last year in one-on-one defense. It truly is amazing what he can do in that aspect of basketball. He moves his feet very well, he can fight over screens, he hustles after the ball no matter what, and that kind of energy is something that this team needs, because defense is not a strong suit whatsoever. So as far as who should be the starting guard next to De'Aaron Fox, it should easily be Davion Mitchell. You could argue Malik Monk and also Kevin Huerter would be better offensive fits, but considering that Davion Mitchell is growing offensively and towards the end of the season actually played well on that side of the ball, coupled with the fact that he's one of the best one-on-one perimeter defenders at his position already, I truly don't see the argument for anybody else to be the starter in the backcourt next to De'Aaron Fox other than him. Now, Kings fans, don't think I forgot about your draft pick Keegan Murray though, because I wanted to save him for his own special segment when I was done with the guards and their weak ass front court depth, because I gotta say, Keegan Murray, man, he's gonna shock a lot of people with how good he is so early in his career. It's obvious that they went with Keegan Murray not only because they are loaded on guards and they didn't need Jaden Ivey at that spot, but it was also because you can make the argument that he was the most NBA ready player available. available. And though I say that and I think they could have traded down, I still do like his fit on this roster. As mentioned earlier, they are lacking in legitimate front court depth, and even though he's only 6'8", he does have a 6'11" wingspan. And it's not like he's just big for nothing, he's actually a very good defender, especially in space. The defensive fundamentals are obviously there. He has mobility on the perimeter, also got great positioning and high awareness. I really do think defensively he's gonna fit like a glove. And even if his defense never becomes anything special, I doubt he'll become a below average defender or even a liability. That's far-fetched from what he could be, just off of the fact that he's 6'8" with a 6'11" wingspan. And it's not just defense that he contributes, because on the offensive side of the ball, he's actually very good as well. He's very efficient, he's very smart, high IQ, a floor spacer that can kind of do it all, doesn't need the ball to be effective. He can cut, he can come off of screens, he can spot up, can knock down free throws. And on a team that has two players that are not good floor spacers or defenders, he is a perfect fit around De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. Sabonis is a very good passer out of the high and low post, and I think the two-man game that they can run with him and Murray, as well as others on this roster as well, could be very effective for this offense. And I know the summer league is what it is, it's not meant to be taken too seriously, but if his performance there is any indication of what he's going to be on the NBA level is, then I definitely think the Kings made the right decision. But what I don't think this team made the right decision on is going with De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis to be their duo leading this team. And that's not to say that these two are not talented players and in other situations can't be very productive, but together on this roster, I just don't see it working out. For starters, Domantas Sabonis' impact on a team is not as great as his numbers suggest. And that's not to say he isn't a good player. He can go out there and give you 20, 15, and 10 on any given night. He's the knockoff Jokic of the East over the last couple of years. A very skilled post scorer, nice touch around the rim, a solid rebounder, one of the best in the league in that category. And as a passer, he can make some of the best dimes that you've seen a big make. But unfortunately in basketball, there's this thing that we call defense, and Sabonis is not good on that side of the ball whatsoever. He is a turnstile. In the post, despite his strength, he's gonna get bullied by all the good bigs that they face. And in a conference where you have players like DeAndre Ayton, Nikola Jokic, Christian Wood, Rudy Gobert, Zion, Valanciunas, Anthony Davis, he is barbecue chicken. And that's not even mentioning the perimeter, because he's cooked there as well. He can't defend the pick and roll or in isolation. And in this league, you just don't win consistently with a bad defensive big. It's almost impossible. I mean, my Bulls have Nikola Vucevic, and look at how that's working out for us so far. So why should I think any different with a guy like Sabonis, who on top of the fact that he can't defend, he is not a floor spacer either. And paired with De'Aaron Fox, who is a great player in his own right, very electric, great in transition, fast, explosive in the pick and roll, a nice ball handler, good passer, but also, like Sabonis, is not a good defender or a floor spacer. And on top of that, not only was a little bit suspect for a good chunk of the year last season, but has also had his fair share of injuries and has not played 60 games over the last 3 years. I don't see how that duo is supposed to be the face of the franchise, as they call it, the Fox and the Ox. Get the fuck out of here. They're not doing anything in the Western Conference. And even if they make the playoffs through the play-in, because hey, the play-in is possible for them, I'm not denying that, they are going to be instantly swept in the first round, or gentlemen swept, whatever it is, take your pick. And at that point, what was it all for? Honestly, what was it all for? Trading Tyrese Halliburton just so you could be mediocre in the West? Ew, that is not worth it whatsoever, because this is literally the worst spot in the NBA to be. A team that's not good enough to make the playoffs consistently, while also not being bad enough to consistently get a high lottery pick. They are stuck in purgatory, and whether they like it or not, all roads are going to lead to them having to blow this situation the fuck up, because I genuinely don't see the benefit in them doing what they're doing right now. So next year, yes, the Kings are still going to suck. But before I wrap this up, a lot of people have been asking me my thoughts on the Ime Udoka situation. My Nigerian brother cheated on Nia Long, took an L to the community. I'm so sorry, brothers. I hope one day we can recover. And if you want to know my thoughts, make sure you go and check it out on the Off the Grid podcast, our newly rebranded pod. The link is down below in the description box and also in the pinned comment. That concludes this video though. Make sure you guys go and comment your opinions down below. I would love to know if you thought I was right or wrong on the Sacramento Kings. This is your boy Young Mustard signing out. Y'all stay safe and have a blessed day. Peace.